proper cello and bass bow hold, you're going to start by putting your thumb in the small space on the bottom of your stick of your bow where we have a gap between our frog and our winding. It's possible that with your bow you don't have any gap here. It might be that the winding goes all the way to the frog, and that's okay. But it's still going to be the same location. The biggest problem that we see with our thumb location is instead of students putting their thumb here, right at that spot next to the frog, we see that they put their thumb in the frog's mouth. Okay? We also sometimes see this. So we want our thumb to be pointing upwards, the tip of our thumb, right next to where that frog is. The next thing that we're going to do is add our pinky. If your bow has an eye of its frog, that is exactly where your pinky is going to go. If you don't, you can just imagine where the center of your frog is. You can put a little sticker there if that helps you. So I'm going to put my thumb back and I'm going to wrap my pinky over all the way so that the pad of my pinky is covering that dot. Okay? The next thing is my ring finger. Each of our frogs should have what we call a ring around the frog. This is where your ring finger is going to touch, is right on the edge of this. So I'm going to get my thumb, pinky, and I'm going to drop my ring finger down so that it touches. It doesn't need to touch at the front. In fact, for most people, it's going to be just a little bit further back. And then our middle finger is also going to kind of join in and is going to also probably touch just the tiniest bit of that ring, and it may even touch a little bit of the bow hair. Don't worry if it touches the bow hair down here because we actually don't use any part of this bow right here at the bottom near the frog. Your first finger is going to wrap around forward so that all of your fingers for the most part are pointing downwards to the ground. You want to make sure also that your fingers are evenly spaced. So if you look kind of from the top angle, you'll see that my fingers have a pretty even spacing between them. They aren't squished together. They have a little bit of a space. The next thing to just be very careful of that we often see is with your index finger, you want to make sure you have enough of that first finger wrapping over the stick. This is really going to help you grip your bow. So if you don't have enough wrapping over, you're going to have a hard time controlling your bow. So for example, we sometimes see students put it up here, they pull their whole arm back and their pinky and first finger kind of come loose off the bow. So if your pinky is dropped all the way nice and low, your other fingers are nice and low as well, that first finger should do the same. Now everyone's hand is different, but for me, my stick is kind of touching between this first joint here and then this larger joint here. You can kind of see it hopefully that stick is kind of going in between there. That way when I bend my fingers, it's nice and relaxed over that. If we have too much finger going over, that's also not good. So we want to just make sure, use that pinky as kind of your anchor and then that ring of your frog for those two center fingers to kind of keep you balanced. If you drop it too far, all your fingers are going to want to follow suit. And that's how you do a cello and bass bow hold.